Well, let's read excerpts from the book. Are you reading from Or So It Seems?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Which is available through Amazon.com.
And I just would mention that the novel takes the reader on this journey backwards and forwards in time. And when we begin where I am starting this reading, we find ourselves back in this room that the novel started in, where the character, Paul Peterson, is being dragged across the living room floor towards a large, oversized brown velveteen couch by a lady who's somewhat crazed and definitely had one too many glasses of wine, who has love in her heart and lust in her mind. So
basically, we just read to the end of the show. The show goes off. You just keep reading for the sake of the tape. So just
okay.
Yeah.
I might be. This is 6.5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I know you can see Paul Peterson down there, still being dragged in slow motion by Allison across her living room floor. But can you also discern that simultaneously I am up here, hovering close to the ceiling? Ironically, it makes me feel lightheaded, even though I no longer occupy a body or a head. Yes, for some reason I have been momentarily set free from the restrictions of the physical world, and I am floating above everything, myself included, in this shabbily appointed room. My consciousness hovers somewhere near the ceiling, I would judge, totally free of my body and tucked into a corner of the room. Yet something nags at me, something off balance or unexpected. Perhaps it is that strange odor. What is that? Some sort of scent, I suppose. It is sweet and flowery, almost like incense. Nothing I noticed Allison wearing, and Allison is the woman down below who's fighting with him, or even smelled in her apartment earlier. Of course, maybe it was there and I was too caught up in the swirl of events or the swell of her breasts to notice. But look at us down there. Suddenly I am surprised by the sound of laughter and quickly realize it is coming from me. I cannot help it. I have to laugh. Have you ever seen anything that looked half so funny? Look how comical we appear, Allison and I, arms entangled, voices dueling, as we move in our slow-motion dance across the length of the living room toward that silent jumbo couch. You could not choreograph a funnier scene for a movie, but the fact that it is not being staged, is actually happening on its own, is probably why our awkward tango seems so side-splittingly funny. I hear the two of us arguing down there, hear Allison shushing me repeatedly as she tries to overcome my half-hearted protests. But for some reason, the sound of my breath rushing through my nostrils feels closer to me in this instant and louder than the sound of the voices below. Which is funny if you think about it, because up here I do not have a body, much less nostrils for my breath to pass through. That is still your body down there, a familiar voice declares in a highly nasal Indian accent. You are both up here and down there at the same time, my young friend, and it shall be much more worrisome, he giggles, if you do not hear yourself breathing. That voice, the accent, the gleeful childlike laughter. Oh dear, what a mess, the voice continues in a bubbly, amused manner I not only recognize, but am bewildered to hear. What is going on? Do not start with the questions, please, the voice of His Holiness the Bhattacharya instructs. Like me, or at least the me that floats near the ceiling, he is without a body. But trust me, he has a presence so strong I can almost see him in my mind's eye. But I am so confused, I explain weakly. Of course you are confused. That is why I have traveled across the universe to speak with you. To speak with me? Why else? Certainly not for the rewards. Bhattacharyas do not earn frequent flyer miles, a joke he finds highly amusing, judging by the burst of giggles that follow. Speak to me about what, Holiness? About what? Look at yourself down there, and you ask about what? That is quite a stew you are cooking, Mr. Peterson. I turn my back on you for less time than it takes the universe to breathe one tiny little breath. And what do I find? What a grand screw-up you have made of things. Your clothes are about to be torn from your body by a crazy lady of the highest insanity. Your son is about to be, oh my gosh, so painfully embarrassed before the entire assembly of the Boy Scouts of America. Cub Scouts, I weakly protest. And it is just a pack, a Cub Scout pack. Yes, of course. Such a big difference to have yourself fully exposed naked before Cub Scouts rather than Boy Scouts. But Your Holiness, please to allow me to finish. Excuse me. And here you are, allowed by the divine grace and the Bapucharya to come closer to the CPA than a Harvard Divinity student. Here, where childish complaints and petty grievances are like dust particles in the wind. And what is it you are doing? You are clinging to each particle of dust as if it were gold. I do not. Again you interrupt. No, continue. I am sorry. You are making yourself into such a victim, Mr. Peterson. It is all I can do to keep watching your movie. This crazy lady does that to you. That cruel wife does this to you. And where is the part where you do anything other than complain? I am wondering. Look at yourself down there, a lamb being drawn to its slaughter. It is not what is happening in your faith that keeps you in that wild lady's grip, but what is happening in your pants. Do you not see that? This is not a do-it-yourself workshop, I am thinking. This is a melodrama of questionable entertainment value, a gray B movie, nothing more. And so I ask myself, what should a Bapucharya do? You have been given a gift, young sir, and you are squandering it like popcorn falling from a box in the movie. Well, there is only so much popcorn that can fall before the box becomes empty. And so someone must have the kindness to shake you roughly and wake you up. Who shall that be? Is there someone else besides a Bapucharya? He sprinkles the air with a few self-amused giggles before answering, I do not think so, Mr. I am so confused and victimized. I listen to the Bapucharya's words and wonder what in God's name he is talking about.
Now, Paul, you were in some sort of